Yes, hello and welcome to the EVP Xero Show. I'm Zero as normal, and I'm joined by my co-host. I'll pass over to him so he can introduce himself. Over to you, CJ.
What is going on, everyone? I'm the EVP of the EVP Show. What's going on, everybody? Glad to be back. Yeah, it's a lot of stuff went down this week, and can't wait to dive into it.
Yeah, there's been a hell of a lot of stuff basically. Yeah, so first of all, we'll go through some of the news then before we review SummerSlam because there's been a lot of news come down. So let's get into it first of all. So uh, at the start of the week, we had it come down saying that TKO are now planning to make most pay-per-views in the future into two-night pay-per-views. That'll be the main big ones. So that'll be Survivor Series, um, the Rumble, Money in the Bank, stuff like that, basically. So, like SummerSlam, we are going to be getting all two-night pay-per-view soon, starting as early as next year for that one. So that'll be pretty pretty good, I reckon. I was actually discussing this earlier as well with somebody, and well, with Leo actually, and we were saying that it might be all right, but then again, it could also be like it sort of depends on the time of year that sort of like if it's during the school times when the kids are in, then doing a pay per view on a Saturday and a Sunday might not be the best because then the kids won't be able to stay up on the Sunday to be able to watch it and stuff. And
Mhm.
also if people have got work as well on the Monday morning, you might not be able to stay up and watch it that way. So sometimes it might ruin it, but certain times of the year it'll be all right for. What do you think about the whole two night pay per view events sort of going forward that TKO want to do? Really, anything really?
Um,
No?
I mean, yeah, I mean, we already kind of knew it's headed in that direction. Obviously, we just seen the 2 night SummerSlam. We got 2 nights of Mania. I guess what they're looking at maybe doing Royal Rumble 2 nights,
Yeah,
Survivor Series,
yeah.
and possibly what maybe Elimination Chamber as well.
Well, it's just going to be the big ones at the minute. So you'll have Rumble, Money in the Bank,
Money in the Bank, yeah.
SummerSlam, Mania, and Survivor Series. So you're going to basically have the big ones like that doing it. And then there was talks about possibly making the Saudi shows two nights and stuff like that as well. So it's just going to be whenever they feel like putting in a two nighter. Basically, that's going to be basically how it's going to go to. Yeah, again, that'll make more money for the company and stuff like that. Basically, that's how it's going to go. Yeah, I will say before we continue on as well, hello to everyone in the comments. If you do want to join in with the show as per normal, do not forget to comment and we will try and get to as many comments as physically possible. Saying that, before we move on with the news, I will just say Gwen Anderson, hello. Gwen said, should be all kind of news today. Let's go. Yep, there's some big news coming up as well. Michael Plays just says TKO, followed by Saudi shouldn't be getting Mania. They already get two shows a year. I'm going to get into that one. Leave that one with us. Um, right, actually, that's next. So, yeah, so Saudi Arabia, basically the chairman of Saudi Arabia, he has turned around and said that they have signed for a major event for 2027, hinting at WrestleMania. Now, there's been rumors flying around that year, if they do get WrestleMania, then because obviously it'd be Saudi and Mania is normally in America as well, and because they're worried about the American audience, we will potentially be getting two WrestleManias that year. Um, but like it'll be labeled down as like Saudi Mania or something like that or whatever. It won't be it won't be labeled down as an actual WrestleMania, but it'll be treated as one. It'll be sort of the same style, same format and stuff like that really as WrestleMania, from my understanding. But yeah, as Michael Play says, it'll be a daytime mania. That'd be it basically, yeah. So it'll be a daytime mania for you guys and also for us over here as well in the UK and that. And obviously be that one there. It's the end of the day, I know people are turning around and saying like, they already get two shows a year, but for example, they're getting three next year, and the main reason behind it is money talks. If they're going to pay that I think last time, this isn't confirmed anymore, but last time a report came down, it said Saudi pay 55 million per show. So if they're paying 55 million per show, they get whatever they want. If they turn around and say we want WrestleMania, they get WrestleMania. That's basically how they got the Royal Rumble and that. And this is what I've been saying to people is like it's all well and good like them planning in advance like the locations and stuff, but Saudi Arabia could come on in at any time and basically turn around and say, we want this, and they can outbid the current city where it is, and Saudi Arabia will get it. Basically, WWE don't care; they will take that money. If they get that one there, they will get they will get they will get what they want. Basically, that's the bottom line of it. Um, yeah. Right, so I can see it here then. So Michael Play says they got one this year. Yeah, yeah, that's true. Alexis Sherman, any news on the Jacob and Solo feud? Are we getting another match at a later premium live event? I will get into that one in a bit. So just a couple of other bits and pieces as well. Actually, yeah. Did you want to say anything on that Saudi stuff before we move on? Sorry.
I mean,
Okay.
it's expected. I mean, you know,
Yeah, like I said, it's if they're paying 10 million, if they're paying 55 million a year, or well, 55 million per show, they're going to get what they want, aren't they? Basically, that's the
yeah,
thing. They're not really going to say no to them and stuff.
no,
Like I said as well, I will turn around and say that was last time I seen a report, and that came down from WrestleNomics. I'm not 100% sure if that's still the case, but that is what they put. But some Triple Mania news. Triple Mania has completely sold out already. With the announcement of Dominic, well, it sold out as soon as they announced Dominic Mysterio and El Grande Americano. So people might not like them, but it seems everyone else does because basically everything sold out. They sold out. They actually sold out within minutes of tickets and that going on sale for it. So they are extremely popular. They are, and that's what
hmm
I'm going to turn around and say basically. Yeah. Yeah. Obviously, now I'm talking about that as well. Then, so since then, we've then had Finn Balor, JD McDonough, and Raquel Rodriguez will face off against Mr. Iguana, Nino Hamburgues, and Lola Vice in a six-person mixed tag match at the event.
hmm
Um, and they've also announced today as well another match with Natalia in it, and I can't remember the other ones basically who are in that one. Yeah, but there's another match there which they've announced. Um, Right, let's have a look here. Some bits and pieces that have come. Well, we will get to the big news as well in relation to the ESPN news shortly, but some other bits and pieces that have come down today. So, from WrestleVotes today, we've got there are several with direct influence on the main roster that love Ruka and think that the world of her potential. There's a growing sense internally that a call up to the main roster is coming very soon. So yeah,
yep.
that means that she's obviously dropping soon and stuff. Yeah. What do you think about that? Do you think she deserves to call up? Do you think she's worthy of a call up or anything like that, really? Or
Yeah, I mean, I was talking about it Tuesday on the NXT recap. She's phenomenal. I think she's probably, if not the best, like top two in NXT right
yeah,
now. It's just only a matter like before the news even come out, I was like, she's got to be coming up soon because
yeah.
she's just too good.
Yeah, well, we should be having a draft very soon. I'm very surprised they haven't announced it yet because I know they turned around and said like sort of immediately after SummerSlam or as close to after SummerSlam as physically possible they were going to announce it. So I'm very surprised that they haven't done that yet. To tell you the truth. So let's have a look here. So some other bits and pieces that come down then is WWE have strong interest in signing Conan to a Legends deal, separate to his ongoing involvement with AAA. So yeah, so congratulations to Conan if he obviously gets that one. Um, Apparently they're also saying as well that there's no current plans to turn Cody Rhodes heel. That's because they've tried, and even when they were getting him booed at SummerSlam, he was still getting cheered at the end of it. So it seems like they tried to turn him heel, and it was a failed experiment already. So that's just that one there. But we'll get into SummerSlam shortly. And the last bit as well in this little bit, this is all coming out from WrestleVotes today, is it says Roman versus Seth is being planned for a future event. They will not meet before that point, unless it's obviously like tag matches or anything like that. So when they say that, I think that's going to be a big event. So you're probably looking at maybe the Rumble next year in Saudi or something along those lines. You're probably going to get them out there. Um, you know, that's possibly that. Any of that stuff before we move on to the big news of the week? Ali, anything you want to say on
Yeah,
that?
yeah. Also, in regards to like Roman, it, basically they, obviously the news broke or whatever they said.
Yep.
Starting September 2nd. He was going to be leaving to go film Street Fighter. Obviously,
Yep.
he's not going to be I mean, Cody's not going to be on the set as long as Roman is.
No.
And then also they said it could possibly be a singles match for Roman, which me and you talked about for a couple of weeks. That
Yep.
if we were going to do a singles match, it makes the most sense for Bronson Reed.
Yeah.
At Clash in Paris, they're not going to do Braun Breaker, not
No.
yet.
No. Well, I'll get into that. One was actually going to be my next thing anyway. Before we
Oh,
move on
okay,
into the ESPN news. So at the
but
minute, I know. Yeah. Sorry. Carry on.
but I have one thing on the
Oh
sorry
yeah.
about that
Oh yeah. Go on then.
On the Cody thing.
Yeah.
I mean, it was a failed experiment, but I wouldn't say that it's not ever gonna happen. I mean,
It's going to
he's gonna
happen.
he's gonna go heel
Yeah.
eventually.
Yeah. It's going to happen at some point. And that. Yeah. That's it. It's going to. It's going to. They're going to turn him eventually. It's. I think the reason why they're saying it at the moment is they're trying to like swerve quite a lot of people and stuff at the moment. That's what it is. But yeah, it's going to happen in time. But yeah, so moving on into the Roman news because I know probably a lot of people are here for that. So I will also actually before we get into that, let's just see here a minute. I'll just check some of the comments. So Michael plays. I saw like a month or two ago that TKO's like in massive debt right now. That's not TKO. TKO is fine. That's Warner Brothers. You're probably thinking of Warner Brothers Discovery. They're in massive debt. They're actually selling off assets and everything, and they're trying to scrap assets there. Well, I don't think TKO is in massive debt anyway. Um, Ryan said, "Huh." Hey, Ryan. Nate Dogg, WSP. Hello, Nate. And TJ, she's worthy of a call up, but I don't trust the main roster booking. Look at Roxanne. I'm just saying. I mean, yeah, anyone who gets called up is not, you know, they do get ruined sometimes, but it's, as I keep saying, is if you're one of Triple H's favourites, you're going to get pushed and that. So you just got to hope and pray that she's basically one of Triple H's favourites. That's basically what it is, for that one. So yeah, so as we were saying anyway, the Roman news. Now, obviously, everyone's raving over it today because WrestleVote said it. I actually said it a month ago. I reported in the Discord server a month ago that Roman was working Clash in Paris. So, if you've been in the Discord server, this is not really any new news. It's not new news, basically, if you get me. Um, yeah, so there's two current pitches at the moment. They haven't decided which one they're going to do, but they've got till the 18th because that is Roman's next appearance, as far as I'm aware. Um, Basically, the two pitches at the moment is a six-man tag involving Roman, LA Knight, and Punk versus Seth's group, or it'll be the one-on-one match, which will be Roman versus Bronson Reed. That's the two. That's the two options at the moment. They're not doing Roman Braun. They're not doing Roman Seth at any point soon. They're going to be safe for next year potentially. They're going to stretch this storyline out all the way till then. So that's your two pitches. I don't know which one everyone would prefer the most. Again, make comments. Which one do you prefer, really, CJ? Like, which one of those matches would you say would be the better one to do at Clash of Paris?
I mean, I've been calling it for a couple of weeks. Even when we did SummerSlam predictions on your show, like
Yeah,
I felt like Bronson Reed because like he keep taking his shoes. And he did tsunami him 3 times
yeah,
Monday. And I think Bronson could benefit from like a big high marquee match like that. Um,
yeah.
but I think one thing maybe you can address to people because I bet I'm flooded with the DMs about it.
Right. Yep.
Um, about Roman taking the title off of Seth. Like I don't think it's
That ain't
happening.
happening. That's not happening. I'm gonna set this straight now. Roman is not holding another title for a very long time. That's even if he does hold another title. At the minute, the whole reason what Roman's feuds are going to be is he's going to basically be doing things. Once he's got through Seth's group, he will be going. It'll be family related. That's basically what they're doing it as. It's not. Basically, there's no plans for Roman to hold a title again for now. Anyway, and that's what I'm going to say is for the immediate future there is no plans for Roman to hold a title at all. I do hate to say that, but that's how it is basically. Not he's had his run with it. They're now going to. I'll tell you now, Cody is going to have a much Well, the current from when I last heard, Cody is going to have a run as long as Roman's. If they go down that route, Cody is going to have a run as long as Roman's, or just slightly short of it, possibly even longer. They wanted to do, but it's he's Roman's not. That they were meant to be doing it. That Roman was going to be facing Seth for the title, but those plans got scrapped big time. And that they're changing it all around now because of everything got delayed. So no, I'm afraid he's not going to be taking that title off Seth at all. No, they've got
Oh,
plans for that one.
oh wow! So
Basically,
so they're not planning on maybe taking a title off of Cody at WrestleMania then.
probably not. No, no.
Wow.
But from when originally Cody wasn't even meant to drop at WrestleMania this year. I'll
Yeah.
say you that one. Basically, the original plans is that Cody was meant to hold it, and leading up to WrestleMania, he was still meant to be champion, and he was going to have a run longer than Roman's for
Oh
it.
wow.
Yeah, but they decided to split it up by giving it to John for a couple of months because basically Dwayne came in and turned around and said, "Let's put the belt on Cena. Let's give him a heel run as that." And obviously, then he just basically just disappeared, and they didn't do much with it. And that's why they took that title back off Cena already now, because if they had still continued on the storyline, then Cena would still be champion now.
Mm.
And the whole plan was then going to be is that Cody was going to take the title off of him in December. So they were going to literally have John hold it from WrestleMania all the way through to his final match, and then Cody was going to beat him in December, basically, and essentially
Mm.
retire him and take the title back off him and save WWE and save wrestling and that. But because of the whole Rock and Travis Scott storyline and that getting dropped, then it's basically they just thought, well, we're not going to go on any longer now. We're going to turn Cena back face again, and that's then obviously what happened at SummerSlam. They took the title off him. They've given it back to Cody now, and now Cody's going to have a very long run with it. I don't know how long it's going to be now, but he's going to have an extremely long run with that title, and that
So,
basically.
so did you hear on the Ariel Hawani show that about Paul Heyman saying that the original, like, there were two plans
Yep,
for Brock?
yep, yep.
Uh,
We'll get
That's
into
great.
we'll get into that
Okay.
one. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
Go ahead.
yeah. Yeah, that's fine. Gwen said, "What happened to the idea that there are not going to be any more that they're not going to do any more long title reigns?" Yeah, they scrapped that for Cody and stuff. If you're the face of the company, they're gonna basically be doing it that way. They're not. The original plans was going to be to not have any longer than 8 month title reigns, but that's for essentially what they're going to do is the WWE title or the Undisputed Championship, whatever one they want to call it. That's going to be seen as the main title. That's what everyone's going to want to go for. The one which will not have any longer than 8 months will be the World Heavyweight Championship. So that title will be hot potatoed in effect, basically. That'd be what it is. So that's what that rule applies to. But the World Championship one, the one which Cody currently holds, is going to be held for a very long time,
Well,
essentially.
yeah. I mean, they even took the undisputed title off of the WWE page. Like he's just considered the world heavyweight champion.
Yeah. Well, there's been some confusion about that because it was took off and now it's been put back on again. They
Okay.
can't decide. They can't decide what they want to call it. I know the plans were going to be is that they were going to start doing it so he starts getting called just the WWE champion on TV, but for some reason now they've decided to revert back to undisputed again. So unless they're just going to like keep sort of flipping between them and
Yeah.
stuff, and that's obviously how it's going to be. But yeah, that's that. Yeah, and obviously then the big news of the week now is starting from 2026. So I do believe the first Premium Live event is going to be Mania on it. Is WWE Premium Live events are going to ESPN. Um, yeah, now it's sort of big and that if you think about it, ESPN massive network, owned by Disney, and Disney have Disney has 50% of Disney's ownership as the Saudis, so that's how much money they have Basically, they have the backings of the Saudi Arabian government, so they're
Mhm.
not going to run out of money anytime soon. So you can imagine what those productions and everything like that are going to be like for the pay-per-views, basically. Um, yeah, there's obviously was some confusion when it first all came down. Now, the service as a standalone service is going to cost $30 per month, but that is only if you do not have ESPN already on your cable. So if you have cable through select suppliers, which I believe is DirecTV, YouTube TV, and there's another load of others as well. If you've already got ESPN through that, then this new service will come free of charge for you. You don't need to pay any extra on that.
So what
So
happens if for like people like me, like I don't I pay like $100 almost $100 a month for Hulu Live.
yeah,
But
I think Hulu Live was on that list. If I remember rightly, Hulu Live was on the. I haven't got the list in front of me anymore, but
so
um,
is it
yeah,
gonna be, yeah, because Hulu Live is, like I read on, like it's all over the news too. Like Hulu Live is, or Hulu is basically going to be getting converted over
yeah,
to Disney. So I don't even know if
yeah.
there's going to be a Hulu Live. Um,
I mean, what you'll probably end up getting in, or what I'll probably end up doing is if you get they'll convert you over to Disney basically, so you'll just get everything through Disney Plus. And I expect you probably get. I don't know how it works over there, but like for example, like if you've got ESPN and stuff, yeah. So I can see Michael Play said I have ESPN and ESPN on Hulu, so you'll automatically get it. If you've already got ESPN in any capacity and you've already got it as part of your package, then you will get the $30 a month package for free. Basically, that's the bottom line
so
of it.
so I guess to let people know that don't have any of those outlets, basically, what is it going to be? Some sort of app that drops like the 21st that you have to like
It's going to
subscribe
be
to?
I don't know fully what it's going to be, but when it drops, basically, it's going to be an on-demand service. So it will essentially be like Netflix, where you go into it and it'll have like a live streaming thing and then like a back catalog and stuff like that for it. But yeah, it'd be like 30. I think what they said as well is if you sign up to it, you get if you sign up when it actually drops, then you get Disney Plus and everything included into it to the price of for the price of 30, but that's only for the first 12 months. So essentially, if you sign up to it, then you can get Disney Plus and that included into the $30 a month, up until August next year, really.
Hmm.
That's what you'll get. But yeah, I don't know fully how it works because, of course, I'm not over in America, so I sort of don't know how it's going to work, and not full details on that haven't come out yet. The best idea to leave it would be on the 21st and see how it is when it drops on the 21st. Really, that's all I can say. Um, but yeah, people have over exaggerated on the timeline again as well. I've noticed that, people are like, oh, it's $30 to watch WWE. I'm not doing that. And like, I've seen some people turn around and say, oh, it's going to cost like 900 and something odd dollars a month to be able to do that. It's not. If you play it clever and that, and you've got these TV packages, you get a lot of the content for free. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, like Peacock and that. I understand obviously that's probably an extra price and stuff like that, but if you're a fan of like TNA and everything like that, the current rumor is that TNA is moving to Peacock
Yep.
and that, and Nick Khan and everything like that as well has also come out and said that they're going to be launching AAA as a separate company as well with a TV deal when the ESPN deal drops. So that says to me that possibly, well, the latest thing that I've heard is that they're going to be doing AAA. Um, AAA basically on ESPN alongside WWE, and yeah, TNA then on Peacock. So then what they will do is, and I will make this quite clear as well, is the ones on ESPN, the pay per views on there is only main roster pay per views. Now the reason behind that is I do believe the current plans is going to be that NXT pay per views will move to Peacock, and that then if they then have TNA on there, that means then that they have all the content all in one place. So rather than you having to switch channels to watch the different pay per views and stuff, you can then literally then just watch TNA pay per views through Peacock. You can watch NXT pay per views through Peacock and everything like that, and they can then continue to do the TNA NXT crossover basically and do
So
it that way.
you so you think NXT is going to remain on Peacock?
Well, the NXT pay-per-views will remain on Peacock, and obviously then TV will be on CW. That's what I'm currently hearing, is that's that one there. However, as well, I know that Disney have also placed a separate bid for NXT pay-per-views, a slightly lower one, to put them onto Disney Plus.
Mm-hmm.
So it sort of depends. It sort of depends which one the company wants to go for. If they get a better offer from Peacock, then they'll go to Peacock. If they get a better offer from Disney Plus, from Disney essentially to put them onto Disney Plus, then they'll go to Disney Plus on that.
Well, see, it's crazy because, like, obviously, like, if they ended up going to Disney Plus, which, you know, is not really that big of a deal,
Yeah,
because you can get it with that package if you sign
yeah,
up, you know, on the 21st.
yeah,
But then you have NXT, you know, weekly content or weekly shows come on
yeah.
CWs. If you don't have like a streaming service like Hulu or cable, then you're not. What? So that's what I'm confused about. So like, if you sign up for this ESPN thing, are you
Yeah.
going to be able to get the weekly shows for NXT, or are you going to have regular cable?
You've got to have regular cable still because this the thing is it's only the pay-per-views that are going on to ESPN. So Raw weekly shows is staying on Netflix. SmackDown weekly shows are staying on USA Network because they have a deal until 2029. So Raw, I know the Netflix deal's 10 years from when that started. So that's
Mm-hmm.
10 years they've got then. And then SmackDown will be remaining on USA Network until 2029, basically. So you won't get any of them on there. It'll just literally just be, and then CW. I'm not sure what the deal was. I think that was about 5 years. So
Mm-hmm.
if that's a 5 year deal for that, then they'll be remaining on CW Network until then, and then you'll then just have to then just do that. It's basically it's one of the main reasons why I know they split over the networks is, and I dropped this in the Discord the other day, is how can I put this? WWE have exclusivity clauses in their TV deals, basically. So what that means is that unless WWE owns that company, they will not allow any other wrestling on any network. Well, they will not allow any other wrestling company on any network associated with their main parent company. So, for example, where they've now just signed this ESPN deal now, say for example AEW are looking for a new TV deal, they will not be able to go on any channels associated with Disney at all. That'd be Disney Plus, that'd be any of the ESPN channels, that'd be Fox, anything like that. Basically, it basically restricts them down from that. They're essentially banned from being on those channels,
Mm-hmm.
and that. So that's what it is. And it sounds harsh, but it's the way it is. That's how WWE go about things. Is you've got to accumulate to be able to do that. So if Warner Brothers Discovery ever drop AEW, like what some of the rumors were, then essentially they're going to really struggle to find a home because unless they basically like can get somewhere kind of a big name or whatever outside of anything owned by Disney or outside of anything sort of owned by USA Network or whatever they are now. It's they're not going to get anywhere. That's the bottom line of it, basically. And like I said, it's essentially slowly killing the company off from the inside. That's how they're doing it. Is
Mm-hmm.
by stopping these TV deals. That's what they do, you know. And that's what it is. But yeah, that's basically the that's basically the ESPN deal in a nutshell. Um, there's been a lot of explanation and stuff out for it there, but yeah, it'll be fine. I can't see why people are complaining. It's literally just the pay-per-views. You're getting all that. They are going to have a much better sort of presentation as well. The latest is Mania, for example, will be presented like the Super Bowl every year as well. So you're going to basically have it like Super Bowl presentation wise. That's how good they're going to go for now that it's on ESPN. So yeah, so that's that. Yeah, anything on that really before we move on to
It's a
SummerSlam
lot. It's a
results?
lot. It's a lot. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, no, yeah, like I said, it's done that way, but people get used to it, you know, and that people get used to it. It will be just, you know, it. We knew something big was coming. There's changes in that coming around and stuff like, and it's just I don't get why people are crying over it online. That's how I put it down. As people are essentially crying over it online, and it's stupid basically. And that it's not worth all the moaning and stuff like online. It's going to be better. You can have better presentation of shows and stuff like that ready for it. So there we go. That's that.
Well, they're gonna whine online anyway, so.
Yeah, well. Right. So moving on then. So obviously last weekend was SummerSlam. The first two-night SummerSlam in history. So let's go through this then. So night one, we had Cardi B actually open the show. She just came out and just screamed into a mic for a couple of seconds. Um, and that's sort of how I went to there. With then the first match being Roman Reigns and Jey Uso defeating Bron Breakker and Bronson Reed in a tag team match. What do you think about that match, really? Is there anything do you think right result, sort of wrong result, or anything like that, really? Or what do you think personally? That match, anything
Um,
you want to
yeah, I mean that was the first time I think I've seen in a while where, um, you know, uh, it was kind of obvious, like Roman and them stood tall, but on the Raw before, but it, it had to happen because I feel like it was a good situation because back in the day, like when Roman was the champion for so long, like not that he didn't care about his family because he obviously did, but you saw him like take that spear, like he moved Jay out of the
Yeah,
way and take
yeah.
that spear. So like that's something big coming from
Yeah,
that.
that was one of the highlights from that. Obviously, like they sort of like of why Roman protected Jay and stuff. And I'm very surprised that Jay wasn't on Raw this week to help him out
Hmm.
and stuff. And obviously sort of follow up from that. That surprised me a little bit there. But no, I kind of agree. It was a good opening match. That was a good way to open up SummerSlam basically. So it was a good match basically to open up with. Next one then. So we had the tag team match for the women's tag team championships. That was Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss defeating the Judgment Day, being Raquel Rodriguez and Roxanne Perez, new champions. I guess you're happy with that one because, of course, it's Charlotte and that. So,
Hmm.
yeah. Do you think right result? Do you think they could have done it better? Was there anything sort of like better how they
No,
could have done it, or really that one?
no, I mean I love it. I love the storyline. Charlotte's
Yeah,
super over. With Alexa, the whole story that they're telling of the big sister, little sister. Eventually, I think Charlotte may turn into the Lily doll, maybe.
think
Um,
so.
what? Oh yeah. 100%. I feel like it was the right call.
Yeah,
They're gonna be able to elevate those titles. I know everybody's like, oh, eventually they're going to come back to Judgment Day. I mean, they could maybe when Liv comes back, but I
mm,
think Charlotte. This was used to get the fans behind Charlotte and to get their
yeah.
titles elevated. She looks like she's having a lot of fun, so like I enjoyed it.
Yeah, definitely. I do agree with you there. It was done to obviously elevate Charlotte and stuff like that, and obviously sort of do it that way. And yeah, it was good. It was a good result in the end for that one, personally. Yeah, and then we then move on then to Sami Zayn and Karrion Cross. Now it was rather weird that there was no payoff in this because they were meant to have it that if Cross had won, Zayn would have to admit that Cross was right, that Zayn was not a good person. But since Zayn won, Cross has to admit that he was wrong about Zayn, basically. So, I mean, we haven't seen Karrion Cross, and obviously, with all the rumors going out, is that apparently his contract and that's expiring this weekend. But Dave Meltzer's put out a report to say that Karrion Cross has been offered a new deal, and all I'm going to say is Dave Meltzer's your clue there. But yeah, obviously, Sami Zayn defeated Karrion Cross. What do you think about that match? Sort of
I don't,
anything really bring
I
up
don't,
that one?
I didn't like it. I
No.
think Carl took the L in Saudi because obviously Sammy's super over there.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not really buying. Like, I know his contract's up and so is Scarlett's, but I mean, Paul Heyman even talked about it on ESPN or whatever show it was. Like, Cross is so over. Like, the new book come
Mm.
out. Like, I think he's re-signing, but I'm not a fan of him dropping two straight Like, he hasn't won at a PLE. Like, I don't know. I wasn't a
Yeah.
fan of the outcome.
No. Yeah, I was not. That one was a yeah, it wasn't the best outcome, I would say. It's Cross should have won that one, to be quite honest with you. You know,
Hmm.
he should have done it, especially if it was his last one.
Oh yeah,
You know,
yeah, yeah,
yeah. Yeah, he should have won it and stuff, to go out on a high. But it's obviously we don't know what's happening with his contract situation and stuff at the moment. I mean, I hope he resigns, but you never know, he might not. We don't know what's going on. But yeah, moving on. So Tiffany Stratton defeated Jade Cargill to retain her women's championship. Right or wrong result? What do you think? Ready for that one?
100% wrong.
Is that wrong?
But I will give Tiffany her props. I said it on this SummerSlam Night One recap.
Yeah,
Like, she's undefeated in 2025 in singles matches, 14
yeah,
and 0.
yeah,
Seven consecutive title
yeah,
defenses.
yeah,
But she's been champion over 200 days.
yeah,
I'm not. I don't hate it. I don't like how they push Jade so hard to win Queen of the Ring, and then turn
yeah.
around and just have her flop and lose to Tiffany. I didn't get that.
Yeah, I really think they should have had Jade win, but I mean, I was speaking to Leo about this earlier on, and it kind of makes sense now because he brought up a good point. Is really the only person who can drop the only person now who Tiffany could drop that title to potentially is Bianca Belair. Now that
Yeah, I
would
think.
make a good match.
Yeah, I think tomorrow, um, Bianca's supposed to be on the show. I think we're gonna start to see the seeds for Bianca and Tiffany there.
Yeah, and I mean Bianca could win at any point, can she? Survivor Series or whatever, really, for that one there.
Yeah,
Before we move on, then, so let's just go through then. So TJ Turman said that Charlotte, the Lily, Dole, Flair. Yeah, makes sense, like what you said there. Um,
you got a
yeah, so that's
comment.
that.
You got a comment right here. I can
Oh,
pull it up.
it's Roman signed a new contract yet. His contract's not up for renewal yet, so I mean he's got all the way through to WrestleMania, so it'd be way too early, basically, for them to have a look at that one yet. They've got till they'll have to next April. So I can't answer that one because nobody would know yet. This is too early for that one yet. Um,
It
yeah.
also
So
de- it also
yeah,
depends on how well his movies go. Because I
yeah,
mean, he could potentially end up being just like The Rock, in Hollywood. So, like,
yeah,
it all depends on, like, how much more he wants to put in to WWE,
yeah,
because like, he's already had the longest title reign. I mean, I think it's just going to depend on what the plans are for him at WrestleMania. Like, if he's facing
yeah,
Breaker, then it's probably to put Breaker over. Um,
yeah,
he already said himself, like, he only has a couple, 1 or 2 more years left. So
yeah. Well, all I'm gonna say is once we get that Roman Rock match, prepare not to see Roman anymore after that one. Basically, that'll be the end of it. So I know people are clamoring for the Roman and Rock match, but as soon as we get that, that's the end. That's gonna be the end of the road. So yeah, so I mean, it depends what they book for WrestleMania, basically. And stuff like that, and what they want to do, and whether he wants to sign a new contract. That's the thing. He's getting on now. It's entirely Roman's choice whether he wants to spend time with the family or whether he wants to continue wrestling, basically. You know,
mhm.
and that. Yeah. So that was that one. So next match then. So Drew McIntyre and Logan Paul defeated Randy Orton and Jelly Roll. Now I was shocked at this, but then I then seen why. Jelly Roll came out and someone said that he wanted to lose his first match. He didn't want to be
Mhm.
like every other celebrity that comes on in, where you know every other celebrity comes on in and they instantly win their matches and stuff. He didn't want it to be that predictable. He wanted to lose his first match. So Now he said that makes complete sense. What do you think about that match? Do you think it could have gone any differently or anything like that? Really?
I mean, I picked
Realistically,
Jelly Roll on them to win, but after listening to what he said, and then obviously he talked about it on Cody's podcast today as well, or yesterday.
yeah,
Um, it makes sense. Like he wanted to do what's best for the company, just not coming in as a celebrity and winning. But ultimately, with Logan Paul pinning him, and Logan was talking about, that he got rid of a outsider when he did Impulsive with Tiffany Stratton this week on
yeah,
his podcast. Tiffany Stratton was on there. Um, you know, we know where this is going. Logan Paul Jelly Roll WrestleMania.
yeah,
That's
yeah,
what.
yeah. That's yeah. Blatantly, they'll probably set something up in the Rumble where Logan Paul will be in the ring, Jelly Roll will come out as a surprise entrant and stuff, take out Logan Paul, and that will then set up a WrestleMania feud. That's how they're gonna do it.
Hmm.
That's basically what we're gonna do. They're gonna hold it off till then to make people try and forget about it, and they'll just set it up like that. So, you know, that's how that's gonna go. And then so moving on then to the main event then of night one, which was CM Punk defeating Gunther to win the World Heavyweight Championship, but then we then know then what happened afterwards. Seth Rollins pulled a Willy Wonka, as I'd call it, where he basically came out and dropped the crutches and took off the knee brace and cashed in. Punk's reign was 5 minutes and 10 seconds long in the end. What do you think about that main event? What did you think about the cash in and everything like that? Really? Um, yeah,
So the match was good. It went close to 30 minutes.
yeah,
Punk and Gunther did what they had to do. I mean, I can't complain about the match at all.
no,
I I was skeptical a little that it could be a work, but obviously they worked me too because I did legitimately think he was hurt. But
mm,
I did say like if it was going to be the main event, then something funny was going to happen because they're not just going to have Punk win the title and then just
no,
go off the air. It's the first two night SummerSlam, so I mean, great match, but it's terrible for Punk, obviously. But
yeah,
yeah.
yeah. Well, we'll get into that a bit as well in a bit, because there's something else to add to that bit at the end. But yeah, so yeah, like I said, it's yeah, that's how it went down. That was the route. That was night one. Anything mainly from night one that you obviously want to bring up before we move on to night two or anything? Anything you think of from night one overall?
So something that I talked about on the recap was after the Roman match, in between Roman and the main event,
Yeah,
it really felt rushed. Like
yeah,
the entire night one, like the matches were short. Like Jade and Tiffany was like 7 to 8 minutes. Sami Zayn was under 10 minutes. Like I know they're in a time crunch, but
yeah.
I don't know. I just besides the opener and the main event, the rest of the show just felt kind of not as complete, like not as put together well as night two did
No.
for me.
Yeah, obviously, yeah, and that does seem to be. I don't know why they sort of rushed it, but it just seems to be that they wanted to by the sounds of it. I don't know why, but yeah, it seemed. I agree with you. It did seem rushed. But yeah, so that was night one. I didn't really have anything else to really say on that, except from at the end. So after we discussed night two, there'll be something to bring up as well. So moving in then to night two. Night two opened up with first of all Triple H in the ring. That was expected. He was going to show up at some point and show up in the ring. Um, and do his normal, welcome to SummerSlam and stuff like that. That makes sense. Yeah, and then the first match then was the triple threat for the Women's World Championship, which was Naomi defeating Rhea Ripley and Io Sky. At first, it surprised me because I thought Rhea was going to take it because obviously it's Rhea Ripley and Triple H basically loves Rhea Ripley. But then thinking about it, Naomi's not held that title for too long, and probably the best place that they would do it is potentially having Rhea win that title in Australia or walking in to Australia as champion. So they've got till October basically to give Naomi a bit of a reign and do it that way. Do you think right result, wrong result? Anything really to bring up on that one? That match?
I think it was the right result. I thought maybe Io would eat the pin, not Rhea. But her track record at SummerSlam is not great, not good at all. She tweeted about it.
Yeah.
I just don't know what direction they're going because Naomi's gonna have to put. Well, Naomi defended Monday against Io Sky, but
Yeah.
you know, Chip more than likely she's gonna pay Stephanie Bakor at Clash in Paris. Like, are they gonna are they gonna have Naomi beat her and potentially lose to Rhea later, or are we going to get that dream match way early with Stephanie and Rhea? I don't know where they're going.
I think what they might end up doing personally is Rhea wins that title at in Australia, and then we didn't get it after that. Basically, yeah,
But is
that
she,
could be probably the best way to do it, really.
but is she going to win it off of? Oh, so you think she faces Naomi in Australia?
Yeah, yeah, I think because obviously it's going to be Australia, for a fact Rhea is going to be on the card and in a high profile match. So I personally do think that that Rhea is potentially going to beat Naomi in Australia because at the end of the day it's Australia and it's Rhea.
Mm.
And then they'll then set up then a match between her and Stephanie later down the line and stuff at some point. Whether they save that for Rumble, whether they save it for Mania or whatever, they'll do it.
Yeah, it's just difficult because I mean I want Naomi to have a great run because I think this is probably going to be close to the end because I know she said she wanted to have a family, but
Yeah,
I her beating Stephanie, like I don't know, like that's tough to call there at the Clash in Paris. So
yeah. I mean, yeah, that's yeah, that'd work there. Yeah. So I don't know which way they're going to go about it. They could go multiple ways. They've changed the script this weekend, obviously after what happened, but we'll get into that one. Um, Next match then. So it was the six-pack tables, ladders, and chairs match for the WWE Tag Team Championships, in which the Wyatts defeated, the Wyatt Six. That was Dexter Lumis and Joe Gacy defeated Andrade and Ray Phoenix. DIY, Fraxium, Motor City Machine Guns, and the Street Profits. There were some good spots in that match. There were some really good spots in that match. I think, to me personally, that was like match of the weekend. I hate to say it, but for me, that was my match of the weekend. That six pack for the tag team championships was yeah. I don't know what you think, basically.
oh, that the match was the SmackDown Tag Division is on fire.
Yeah, yeah,
The match was incredible. Like you even had people like B Fab get involved. You had Nikki Cross that move where Candice LeRae went like
yeah,
got catapulted off the ladder into the table. Like, yeah.
yeah,
The only thing, like, I mean, I thought this was a way that they were going to get the titles off of the White Six, but I would get pinned.
yeah,
Because I picked Andrade and Phoenix. Just because I thought like Andrade is like getting a little small push, but I
yeah,
mean it makes sense. But I have it in my top two for SummerSlam for sure.
yeah. I mean, it was a good match. And yeah, it makes sense and stuff, as it does it. Yeah. So then the third match then was Becky Lynch versus Lara Valkyria in a no disqualifications, no countouts, last chance match for the Women's Intercontinental Championship, with the stipulation on of since Lynch won, Valkyria can no longer challenge for the title as long as Lynch is champion. I knew Becky was going to win. They wouldn't going to have Lyra win it. I know all the support out there for Lyra and stuff, but she was never winning at SummerSlam. They were going to continue on with Becky's reign for as long as what they can do. At the end of the day, it's Becky Lynch. And that, what do you think though? Right result, wrong result? Anything really to bring up on that one? You want to
Um,
say?
Obviously, when they first made the stipulation that Lyra wouldn't get another championship match as long as
Mm,
Becky was champion. Normally in WWE, when they do that, the challenger usually wins. But
yeah,
I did pick Lyra, but like obviously when they made it no count out, no DQ, then I was like, all right, well, Becky's retaining, and now we know like we're gonna see Becky and Nikki at Clash in Paris. So
Yeah, and obviously they've also given us the whole thing that, well, yeah, they gave us that bit, didn't they, really? And now we're also now going to be getting a Lyra Valkyria heel turn and that match with Bailey that they're going to be doing, and it'd be quite interesting to see what Lyra looks like when she's heel and that
Hmm.
rather than the face Lyra, because Leo brought this one up with me earlier on because I didn't realize this, is that Lyra has never been heel in her run so
Hmm.
far. She's never been a heel, so that could be quite interesting.
Hmm.
Right, and then we're going to move on then to the steel cage match for the United States Championship, in which Solo Sikoa defeated Jacob Fatu. I didn't think Jacob was going to win this soon, but what really disappointed me with this match was it was Jacob Fatu in a steel cage. They could have done a lot more, and that to me they could have done a hell of a lot more, and that and to me it just seemed, I don't know how to put it really. It seemed like a weak match in my eyes. I don't know what you thought about it, whether you've seen it differently, but you know, Solo just falling out of the cage at the end wasn't the best. They could have done it as a pinfall. They could have done it really as a different ending and stuff. But it didn't appeal to me. That match did not appeal to me at all. With all the hype and everything around it. I don't know. What do you think? You might see it obviously differently to me. I don't know. What do you think
I
about that match, really?
I 100% agree. I think it goes back to what I said about night one that the match felt really rushed. We're
Yeah.
talking about a steel cage match with two people that's been rival for a little while now.
Yeah.
Jacob Fatu, like he did get handcuffed to come out, and that was kind of cool. But like
Yeah.
there was no paint. And then obviously the ending was atrocious. Solo
Yeah.
just falling out of the cage. There was so much more they could have done with that match. Like for me, I love both of them, but it was a worse match tonight too for me, honestly.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah. What? All right. Let's have a look here. So there's been some comments. Let's have a look. So TJ, that was a rerun of Cena versus Orton stipulation. Yeah. Orton didn't challenge for the title until Sheamus entered the picture. Yep. And then Bloodline are getting punished. They're not really getting punished, I would say. They, they, I don't really know how to describe it, but to me, I wouldn't say they're getting punished. They're just kind of not. They're not putting on good matches. In my eyes, at the minute, the matches are not great. I don't know whether it's the booking. I don't know whether they've changed around things or stuff like that. But to me, it just doesn't seem like great booking, especially that cage match. Like I said, they could have done a hell of a lot better.
Mm-hmm.
They could have done a hell of a lot better cage match wise. But yeah, that's that one. And then moving on then to the co-main event of night two. We have Dominic Mysterio versus AJ Styles, in which Dominic Mysterio has retained his Intercontinental Championship. Now, let me remind everybody, and Leo sort of agreed with me again on this one earlier on, is that Dominic Mysterio is the greatest luchador just behind El Grande Americano in WWE. And that's why when they announced his match at AAA, that's why they sold out basically within seconds. So, that's that one there. Yeah. Uh, I like that match. It showed off Dom quite a lot. I like the Eddie Guerrero entrance as well that AJ Styles did, and the throwback to the custody of Dom match.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. What do you think? What do you think? Do you think any? What's your thoughts
I
on that match, really?
I mean, AJ has already come out publicly and said like he may not make another Mania, so
Mm.
like it made no sense for him to beat Dom there. Dom is like he's every week, every month he's rising. Like I've been wanting him to be IC champion for a while. It just
Yeah.
you could see that Eddie come out and Dom in that match. I loved it. I love Dom as
Yeah.
champion. I hope he doesn't drop if he faces AJ at Clash in Paris. So
No. I mean, I don't know. They might. Yeah, I don't know. I can see it being two belt Dom because Dom's obviously in that title match for the AAA Championship, and even WrestleVotes and that have basically come out and said that there's growing speculation backstage that they're going to put the AAA type championship on Dominic Mysterio, and have him basically represent AAA on the main roster, and it's going to be good to see two belt Dom, and that two belt Dom is going to be amazing, and that
I
he
agree.
deserves it for everything that he's done. Um, yeah, he is the greatest Mysterio as well in WWE history as well. Yeah, and then we're moving on to night two's main event. That is Cody Rhodes versus John Cena for the undisputed WWE Championship, in which Cody Rhodes is your new WWE Champion. All hell Cody Rhodes, Cody Rhodes. Yeah, I mean, again, the match, I don't know what to think about it. To me, it felt like a spot fest where basically they were just showing off finishes and stuff like, I mean, yeah,
Mhm.
kicking out from free crossroads and stuff like that, and kicking out from like the You Can't See Me's and stuff. And obviously we had the return of face John Cena officially for a match, but to me it wasn't the best again. They turned it into a street fight. I was expecting more. I said this one earlier on. Is like I was personally expecting more from this match. I thought when they made it a street fight that we were going to be getting interference left, right, and center, and that.
Mhm.
But it kind of disappointed where it wasn't as strong as I'd hope it would be for like Cody and Cena, especially being Cena's last SummerSlam match. Yes, he did well, but I don't know. I don't know. I didn't I didn't fully like it. But I'll let you talk on that one really. Your thoughts on that match then, really.
Um, you know, obviously I was pulling for Cody. Um, there are parts I agree with. Like, I, if you would have told me there was going to be no interference at all, I would have been like, no way.
Mm,
Um, I do think it's wild that Cena kicked out of three crossroads. That's the move that ended Roman's title reign.
yeah,
It was three of them to be exact.
yeah,
Um, we seen the was the super AA off the top rope that Cody kicked
yeah,
out of.
yeah.
I mean, I didn't hate the match. Like, I think it was way better than WrestleMania's match. Like, as far as
Mm,
like back and forth, didn't really know who was going to win type thing.
yeah,
Um, it went on for a while. A lot of weapons were used. Cody pulled out all the stops. He did what he couldn't do at WrestleMania. Like, he hit him with the belt, hit him with the pipe. He tried to tear the ring apart. Um, so I wasn't
mm,
crazy about him winning. I wouldn't say clean, but without no type of outside interference. But
mm,
it seemed like at the end, when they shook hands and hugged, or whatever made Cody cry, which I hate that about Cody. Um,
yeah.
it really feels like Cena's like, all right, it's all yours now, like passing the torch type thing.
Yeah, it kind of was, wasn't it? It's like, yeah, it's been it felt like a pass in the torch moment and stuff. It's like it was seen as last one. He's basically saying, you're now the champion. Hold this company down. Basically, that's what it's going to be. And Cody is now the face of WWE. I hate to say it, but Cody is the face of WWE. I know I'm probably getting a lot of hate for that, but it's true. It is true. They're pushing him big time enough, and he's going to be getting into different feuds and stuff. And like I seen earlier on that there's plans now for Jacob Fatu versus Cody. The problem is, though, is obviously whoever goes up against Cody is going to lose. So it's going to be like the whole Roman Reigns situation again. Um, but it's giving people this time round like more feuds and stuff. You're going to have more people more people coming over to there, and like, don't forget we've got a draft coming up, so it's going to bring people over from Raw and stuff for it.
Mhm.
So, like, yeah, I understand it wasn't the best and stuff like that, and yes, I understand people don't like Cody and stuff, but at the end of the day, it's it is what it is. Cody's champion. We just got to live with it. Basically,
Mhm.
that's the bottom line of it. Um, yeah, and then obviously after that match, we had the surprise of the year. In Brock Lesnar coming back. Yeah, nobody saw that coming. Nobody at all. Because of the whole he's banned and stuff like that from TKO thing, but he was never banned. He was never banned, and that he obviously he just spent some time away because of the whole lawsuit and stuff, but that TKO banning him thing, that was news that was put out there on purpose to put people off the scent. He was always coming back. He was always going to come back at some point in time and stuff. And to be fair, I heard murmurings a couple of weeks previous to that they were talking to Brock. I didn't hear that he was definitely coming back or whatever, but I knew that they were talking to Brock. Um, you know, yes. So I mean, what did you think about the whole Brock Lesnar surprise at the end of it?
obviously when the match ended, they hugged, shook hands, and then they kind of still stayed on air. I'm like, all right, like we're either getting The Rock or somebody big.
Mm.
Brock's music hit. Um, yeah, I mean, they even said it. That the Michael Cole and them didn't even know.
Yeah,
Um,
nobody. What they've done it as, and I'll say this as well, is obviously people are, oh, they faked the reactions and stuff. No. Michael Cole did not know. There was literally about 5 people in that entire business who knew and stuff. Nobody knew backstage until Brock appeared in Gorilla. Triple H and that knew, and obviously anyone directly close to it knew. Um, Cena was even told at the time, literally, he was told by a referee at ringside to prepare to take a bump, but
mhm.
he didn't even know. He did not know that Brock was coming that day. He literally was just told prepared to take a bump. That was it basically. So that was a genuine reaction from Cena. It was a genuine reaction from Michael Cole as well, and that's why you had the holy shit said on air by Michael Cole. And that in the
Yeah,
end, so that made it more authentic, and I think really that's what they need to do more. They need to sort of keep it from the commentary team and stuff, so
right.
we get more sort of authentic reactions and stuff. So yeah, really, that one was. Now there was an interesting thing. I'll just bring this one up before we finish for the day. Paul Heyman said earlier on the Ariel Harare show. I can never say his surname, so excuse me for that one. But yeah, there was talks at one point of swapping the cash in and Brock Lesnar round. So I asked a bit more on that with one of my people who I talked to, and I found out that one of the original pitches that was made was for Seth to cash in on Cody after Cody had won to continue on that feud, and then have Brock show up just randomly at the end of night one to set up a feud with CM Punk because they wanted to do a Brock and CM Punk feud at some point.
Oh wow.
Um, but I do personally think that the way they've done it in the end is a lot better. You now get a Brock and John Cena match again, and Seth cashed in on Punk instead, so that continues that storyline on there. What do you think about that twist, everybody? And that it could have either been like Cody getting cashed in on by Seth, and Seth moving to SmackDown, or the only thing is though is I don't know whether it would have been successful if Seth had tried to cash on Cody. I don't know if it would have been successful. That's the problem, see with it.
Yeah,
So, what do you
I
think,
don't.
buddy?
I mean, I would have loved to see Brock and Punk. Because I think we're gonna see Brock Cena. I think we're gonna see Brock Gunther. Um, we've already seen Brock Cody. I don't really want to see that again.
No,
But I I don't know. I just felt like it all meshed. I guess
yeah,
because Seth, always said he didn't want Punk as ever to be champion. So,
yeah,
and then when he had interactions with Cody, leading up to, you know, in the past couple of times they were in the ring together, like he never touched him. So, like
yeah,
he had interactions with Cena at Night of Champions. Like Cena took the whole faction out, the Oracle,
yeah,
but I mean, I don't know. I think it was the right decision not having Seth cash in on Cody or attempt to cash
yeah,
in. I don't think he would have. I don't even know if he would have been successful if he did. So I think it was the right move.
yeah. Yeah. I mean, yeah. It kind of, I don't know. To me, like I said, it was the perfect way which they done it. So yeah. So that's that. So let's just answer one last question, which I can see in here, which is from Modest Music One. So it says probably been asked this already, Zero, but I just got here, so I was curious. What is the current status on Austin Theory and Karrion Cross? Are they staying with WWE or are they going? Austin Theory is injured, basically. He's been removed off the roster because he is on long-term injured. Nobody knows what the injury is. He's not revealing it. Well, obviously WWE knows, but WWE are not revealing it, so that's why he is. Karrion Cross, nobody knows. Basically, I'm hearing stories that it could potentially be a work, and he's going to go off TV for a couple of weeks and then come back with a new faction, that being with the Righteous. However, there's also obviously those reports I know that he has not signed a new contract yet. Dave Meltzer put out a report today saying that a new contract's been offered, but this is Dave Meltzer, just bearing in mind. And having a new contract offered does not mean that a new one's been signed. Um, I know the reason behind why his contract situation is a lot difficult is because when he was in TNA, he leaked out something too early about his contract status, and now they are very like they sort of like to try and keep his contract status quiet the best they can do, basically. If you get me, they don't try to like that. They basically told him to basically shut up about his contract status, if you get me. So nobody will know until he shows back up on TV. He'll show up one way or another. He'll either go to New Japan or or AEW or TNA or something like that, and just show up there, and then we'll know that he's gone from WWE, or he will literally just, you know, or he'll just show back up on WWE TV. That's the bottom line of it. We won't know. We won't know until we know, basically. So that it's very difficult to say that one. Yeah. So thanks for tuning in once again to this week's show. Just a few announcements before we go off. So yes, so don't forget that we now have our new platform, the Front Row. That's at thefrontrow.net, where a lot of exclusive content will be going to there. We also now started, we started it we actually started it on Monday, but I'm now extending them out to YouTube as well, is we will now be doing live watch-alongs of Raw and SmackDown, and possibly in time as well NXT, but we're not 100% sure yet. They, for now, are going to be on YouTube and the Front Row, but they will eventually end up just being exclusive to the Front Row platform. Talking about the Front Row platform as well, I will break this now, is starting from next week, straight after the EVP show, I will be doing a Q&A exclusive on the Front Row. So I will not be answering any questions via this next week, or starting from next week. If you want to take part in the Q&A, please join us straight after. Well, it'll be about 5 minutes difference after this, exclusively on the Front Row. The links will be sent out every week via Twitter, basically to go directly to the stream, and it'll be about a 15-20 minute extra, basically just Q&A session afterwards. But you will only get your questions answered if you are signed up to the Front Row. You just need to fill out a couple of details. We don't ask for any card details or anything like that for it. The show will be, for the first couple of months, we'll be doing it exclusively for everybody, but then in time it will be going behind our exclusive content wall, in which you will need a premium for that one. But for now, I'm going to do it as free for everybody. So enjoy that one. For the Q&A session, that'll be starting next week. CJ will more than likely be on that one as well, because it will just be an extension of the EVP Xero Show. Like I said, it'll be about a 10, 15, maybe 20-minute show, just answering some questions and stuff out for the week. If CJ's got any, if anyone else actually has any, you can actually ask them, or you can even send them in to me beforehand, and I will answer them on that exclusive Q&A show. So yeah, so that's all my stuff for this week. What have you got coming up, CJ? You got anything?
Obviously, you touched on the Front Row. Obviously, we'll be having a watch along on there tomorrow. Also, I will be on Main Event Fridays at 6 p.m. tomorrow on Twitter Space, and then on the EVP show, I will be doing my first ever SmackDown recap at 10:30 p.m. Eastern. And then Sunday will be my first ever LFG recap on the EVP show as well at 11:30 p.m. Eastern. So it's a lot of content coming on there. 4 weekly recap shows a week on top of PLE predictions and stuff like that. So definitely
that's cool.
tune in.
Yeah, make sure you sign up. Obviously, make sure you tune into those streams. Like I said, don't forget to sign up to the Front Row, because a lot of content will be going through there, and very soon a lot of exclusive shows will be going through there. So don't forget to sign up through that at all, and we will see you same time next week, 6 p.m. EST, or if you're in the UK, that's 11 p.m. British time. And yes, have fun, everybody. This is Zero signing out for the week, and I'm going to pass you over to my co-host to end see if he wants to say anything to end the stream off with.
Yeah, thank you everybody for showing up. I think this was episode 20, I believe. So we're almost 4 months in. Yeah, we got a lot of stuff going on. So I'm sure we'll be seeing you guys tomorrow. Pretty much got something going on every day, except for Wednesdays and Sundays and Saturdays too. But yeah, so thank you for coming. I'm the EVP from the EVP show, and we are out.
See you later.